What's happening? So it's your boy Chaz Jollivet, aka Smooth, back with another video. So tonight what we're gonna be talking about is Moon Knight, the season finale, episode 6. I haven't been super crazy about this series. Like, I like Moon Knight as a character and this and that. I've been reading the recent comic books. I've been reading, like, back in the days, he used to have, like, team-ups and stuff. But I always was like, he just crazy dude in a suit. I'm like, he don't really have any powers and stuff like that. He's just like some kind of version of Batman or whatever. But, like, watch here. Like, he's very powerful and stuff when he's actually Moon Knight. That's why I had, like, a love-hate relationship with this series, because we have not really seen Moon Knight in action, maybe twice, like really fighting or anything, man. So that's one thing that I haven't been too crazy about. Like, Oscar Isaac, he just did a smashing job. Like, his acting performance in going through the different characters and stuff at the drop of a dime and all that. Like, that is dope. Like, he deserves all the praise in the world. But to me, I think Marvel was really being cheap on the CGI and stuff. Like, they kind of waited for, like, the season finale to kind of like, well, let's drop the budget. And the crazy thing about this season finale is they kind of dropped the budget, but this episode was only like 42 minutes. And most of 42 minutes was credits. Because it really was like 36 minutes. And, like, the rest of it is, like, credits and stuff, and they have, like, a little bonus scene. But Steven is dead. He has sacrificed himself to save Marc and stuff. It's sad. It was the better side of Marc. Like, he was with him through the thick and thin, and helped him throughout his lifetime and everything, man. So his soul it's crazy, because it's his soul, but, like, should it be one soul? But, like, I don't know, he's kind of weird. Harrow gets Ahmet, so ready to free Ahmet and judge everybody in the world, man. Global calamity is about to happen and stuff. Layla gets the gold thing, is the scepter or something. And so I'm like, what's she gonna do with that? Is she gonna try to find Khonshu and free Marc and this and that? But at this point, she doesn't really know that she can bring Marc back or anything like that. The gods, they are shocked about Harrow and Ahmet. Like, why are you shocked about that? Marc tried to warn the gods in their avatars and stuff. Like, was it last episode or episode before or whatever? Like, he went to the temple with the gods and was like, no, we must stop Ahmet in this and that. And they were like, no, we're not going to do anything. What we're going to do is we're going to entrap Khonshu. That's what we're going to do, instead of stop Ahmet. And now Ahmet is on the loose, is about to get freed and take over. Now they're like, oh my God. I'm like, that's what he told y'all was gonna happen, and y'all could have stopped it, but you allowed it to happen. So, like, not crazy about that. Like, that's kind of stupid. And then it's funny as well, whenever he does free Ahmet. I could be wrong, but it looked like everybody seen Ahmet. Like, the big alligator, lizard type face or whatever. Like, everybody bends the knee to it and stuff. I'm like, okay, so everybody could see Ahmet. But Khonshu has been in multiple scenes and stuff, and nobody has been able to see Khonshu except for Marc. Even Harrow wasn't able to see Khonshu. He was like, I know Khonshu was there because I was his farmer or whatever and stuff, but he couldn't see him. But everybody could see Ahmet. Okay. Anyways, so Khonshu, Layla does end up finding Khonshu. She was going to try to kill Harrow, but she started getting, like, instructions from dead bodies and stuff. It ends up being the hippo. So the hippo is trying to tell her that Marc is giving her messages from beyond and stuff. You gotta free Khonshu, and that's how you can kind of bring him back, and you can use Khonshu and this and that, blase blase. So she frees Khonshu, And he's like, he's not thinking about Marc at all. Marc is away from this world. You must be my avatar. She's like, I seen you manipulate Marc and turn his life upside down. Why would I dedicate my life to you and stuff when you gonna just manipulate me and make my life chaos and this and that? Like, you are not to be trusted. Like, you better try to, we to help each other or bring Marc back some kind of way or something. Like, Layla is very smart in that manner. Marc finally, we see him, he's in heaven or whatever. He's in the field. He finally found the peace that he was looking for in his lifetime. That's all he wanted was some peace. But it's like, I can have my peace, but I know everything that's going on in the world right now, man. Like, they need my help. I have to save them. I got to save my friends and this and that. And I'm going to find my peace, but Steven, his soul is going to be trapped and he's going to be stoned in the sand and stuff. I can't do it. I can't do it. So Steven has been with him through thick and thin, man. Whenever his mama was beating him, whenever he was going through things in life, Steven always was there to help him. So he goes save Steven. That is a very dope, emotional scene in the series and stuff. So he like, man, you were always there with me, and holds his hand and whatever. And they both start turning to stone. But he was balanced, and so he had his heart. And so the heart ends up being in both of their hands. And it resurrects both of them. Like, well, takes them out of the sand or whatever. So then the gates open up and they are able to get back to Earth. But they got to hurry up and get to, both of them seem injured or whatever. The hippo helps them out. And they do end up getting back to the real world. So the resurrection scene was cold. Like, that was dope. And now he's more in balance with himself. Now he can go from Marc to Steven, like the drop of a hat, the drop of a dime. It's like, ooh, watch our new skill sets. Now we're, oh. So that's dope right there. And Ahmet is really like about to tear shit up and growing gigantic, taking all kind of souls and stuff, man. So they need extra help to do what they got to do. Layla ends up being the avatar for the hippo. Like, I wish I knew the name or whatever. I probably could have looked it up, but I'm just going to say the hippo guy. And so now she's a superhero as well. So her and Marc, they end up crossing paths again. Dope scenes. Like, Marc ends up, Marc and Steven ends up talking to Khonshu and this and that. They have to make their way back. So Marc is flying and stuff like that. So Layla becomes the hippo avatar. Marc is flying. Ahmet is judging everybody. So it's a bunch of things that are going down. And they end up having an epic fight scene. So they are fighting with Harrow. And that's crazy because Moon Knight and stuff, like, he has his suits. Like, Steven has his suit. Marc has his suit. Layla, she has her costume or whatever. Harrow is an avatar, but he just has like a staff in his regular clothes. Like, where is his fancy suit? Like, Ethan Hawke probably was like, man, I'm not wearing that, man. I'm not getting in no tights or anything like that. You're not wrapping me up in mummified or putting scales on me like Ahmet. So he just has regular clothes, but they're fighting, they're handling their business. So we finally see some epic fight scenes, and Steven can fight now. So it's Steven and Marc. Are they jumping him? So Steven, Marc, and Layla, they are beating on Harrow. Khonshu and Ahmet, they are like 100 stories tall, and they are fighting. Like, it's nothing but epicness happening. And crazy thing is, look like Khonshu is getting murdered, and Harrow ends up getting the best of Marc. And so it looks like he's dead. He gets stabbed and stuff. He blacks out. Wakes up. Everybody is pretty much dead around him. And he has defeated Harrow. And Layla's like, what has happened? I blacked out. So Jake Lockley took over. Like, I was like, what about the other personality and stuff? But I guess Jake Lockley is one of the strongest characters, but I know about Moon Knight, but I didn't know, like, in my mind, I thought Jake Lockley was the rich one. I thought Jake Lockley was the rich, personality, and Marc was kind of like the fighter, and Steven was kind of the timid one or whatever. I thought that's how it was, but maybe Jake is like the super strong one or something. But I could have swore he was like the rich one, because one of his personalities is like a billionaire and stuff like that. Because he's kind of like Marvel's version of Batman in some sense of the word or whatever. But anyways, like Jake Lockley, we never see it, but he seems like he badass. And Marc had made a deal with Khonshu. Whenever we defeat the foe and this and that, you gotta free me. And so it's crazy. He's like, I will give you what you want, so you're free. But he wakes up. He's in the insane asylum and this and that. And Harrow is still talking to him like the therapist or whatever. But Harrow has blood on his feet. And so Marc and Steven is talking to each other. And I could swear I hear a little Jake talking as well. And they're kind of like going back and forth. And like, do you see what we seeing? Like, we not crazy. Like, he's been defeated. He's dead of dying or whatever. Like, or something that I missed was Khonshu wanted Marc to kill Harrow. And he refused because he's like, you've been controlling me all this time. Like, do your dirty work yourself. And so he was free and this and that. Then at the end, like he wakes up and he's like, I gotta wake up. I gotta go save the world. So it's like, okay, if Khonshu freed you and your uniform kind of like dissipated off of you or whatever, how are you going to go save the world and stuff? Like, if Khonshu freed you, why would you still have the Moon Knight powers? So I'm like confused on that. Like, how can you do that? But in the comic books, Marc kind of like defeats Khonshu and retains his powers. So I'm like, maybe if he defeated him, he could keep his powers. But I'm like, if he freed you, how could you keep your powers? But anyways, so that's pretty much how it ends. I'm like, it seems like some things are missing. Then at the end, we get like Harrow is in like an insane asylum or whatever, and they free him. And Khonshu pretty much frees him and stuff, and it's like, you thought I needed Marc and Steven to do my dirty work. Like, I have Marc already, like, to do my dirty work and stuff. Like, you about to die because I got Jake Lockley. Like, Jake, we see him in, like, has no problem serving Khonshu and stuff, and he kills Harrow on the spot. So it's like, oh, they can come back and bring it back or whatever, but it's like kind of weird because it seems like Jake is kind of like a villain type. But if it's like in yourself or whatever, like how can you articulate that on screen or something? Like, it's gonna be like in the dreamscape or whatever, you fighting with yourself. It's gonna be like mental warfare. Like, I don't know. It's like kind of confusing and stuff. It was a cool series, man, but it wasn't one of my favorite ones in the Marvel cinematic universe or whatever. But like, I think the Moon Knight character and Oscar Isaac are interesting, but the series was all over the place, man. Like, it was. But that's my thoughts on it, man. What are your thoughts? Hopefully you watch this. I know I start babbling a lot towards the end, but like, comment, subscribe. Gonna be the greatest and most hated, man. Like, appreciate y'all if y'all watching this, man. It's 3:41 a.m. I stayed up watching this, so please watch it and give a like or something. But yeah, peace.